Right now I think and you can talk to Paul and those guys, Taver, Jim and Luke, but I think what they're doing right now at both corner and safety is they're playing left and right, and they're alternating in between practice. Some of the guys working with which unit and that type of thing. Just so that we can eventually find, who's the best 1, 2, 3, 4 corners, who's the best 1, 2, 3, 4 safeties, and then they will have played, deep middle. They'll play down in the box. They'll play rolled up. They'll play out to the field. If they're, just working on a left or a right side. So, but I think there's some interesting battles at a lot of places, whether it be corner with Devon, Andre, Jim. Those freshmen look pretty talented. It'll be interested seeing them. At safety, Jermil Hines, we have both safeties back, but Jermil Hines is awfully good. And Aaron Gantz, a senior, and Nate Oliver's coming along. Plus, Orion Johnson made a play out there today that it was pretty good. And then, of course, on the other side of the ball, I heard someone just ask, what's that left tackle situation. I think the way Jim Bowman's starting it now is Andrew Miller and Mike Adams are kind of rolling in with the first 2 groups. But that doesn't mean if someone looks good at right tackle that they're buried there behind Jim Cordle, who's a senior or something. If the right tackle looks better than the 2 left tackles, we still have a little bit of time, to do those kind of things. I think those would be the 4 most solid ones, and you won't know until pads are on. But I haven't seen them do anything that would tell you otherwise. I'll be anxious to see guys like Jack Muhort, who you see when those kids come in early, you see the biggest difference happen between April and August. Because, April they look, he looks pretty good, but he didn't know much. And then all of a sudden now he looks kind of like a veteran and he's a freshman. So it'll be interesting to see, how those come around. And but we need to try to get 10 guys ready. We were talking yesterday after practice. It was like watching 2 different people. Yesterday, he got probably, 40 to 50% of the reps. A year ago, he got maybe 12% of the reps, and didn't know anything to start with. But no, it was amazing just to watch his presence yesterday. I thought today he was, very solid from that standpoint. It's a little bit difficult when your linemen don't have any pads and you're not allowed to block, and so it was a little bit, I thought, helter-skelter out there from trying to get timed up. But no, he's now a sophomore, and he's an experienced sophomore, which is, pretty neat. And Boom is the kind of guy that can be a good leader. He's a tough football player. People love to follow people who produce and who play the game tough and who play it with, the intensity he does and the class that he does. Obviously, I'd like to say that he'll be a 1,000-yard back, but there's a lot that goes into that. We got to block somebody. We got to stay healthy. We've got to throw the ball well. All those things if you're going to be able to have a back, be a 1,000-yard guy. But I think he's very capable of that. Chris and I talked about this. Chris's first practice here at Ohio State, I was the receiver coach. He was terrible. He couldn't run around. He tripped and fell, and he hadn't had many experiences. Duron has been to 7-on-7 camps and been trained by his father and has been, done so many more things, 15-game, 16-game seasons. So he didn't trip and fall around here like his dad did that first day. Now, he's got a long way to go to be as good as his dad was from day 2 on. It's funny you mentioned it, because one of the balls, I think in perimeter, that he caught going across the middle and put those long arms out there, I thought, man, that looks a little bit like a guy that had the privilege of working. Oh man, he looks quick to me. Just a few times I saw him out there today, and that's what the kids were all saying from the summer. They say, hey, wait till you see 4. He's got some burst. He's got a little glow about him. He's got he's got a neat personality, and he's going to be a good leader. Got good feet. I thought he was extremely good in the option drill. Not too many freshmen handle the option drill like he did today. And I thought he threw the ball fine. I think he's, his accuracy's got to get better, like most people that need reps. He's got to get stronger, like most freshmen. But no, I've been very pleased. Well, that's why we've always thought that he could be a tailback. We didn't feel like we were going to be in that number issue that he had to be. Yeah. But he was always kind of one of those wild card guys that he could be a special teams guy, a fullback and a tailback. Be very valuable in your travel squad and so forth. But no, I think he's got skills.
So he'll do both?
He's going to be primarily tailback because of the number situation. I think everybody that gets reps benefits. Whether it's Torrey in Washington or anybody coming up, James Jackson, Duron Carter, anybody that gets a little bit more reps than maybe they would have, get a chance to show people. That's the downside to not being there. Sometimes out of sight, out of mind, out of game plan, and you have to be noticed. And so it'll be a plus, for a lot of those kids.